Caitlin Clark's arrival in the WNBA was supposed to be a fairy tale start for one of basketball's most electrifying talents. Yet instead of dazzling the world solely with her deep-range threes and fearless drives, she's found herself in the midst of one of the biggest officiating controversies we've seen in years. Could it be that Clark is just paying her dues like any rookie? Or is there a deeper, more unsettling pattern at play? Let's dive into the story that has fans livid, social media in an uproar, and everyone asking the same question. Is the WNBA doing enough to protect its newest star? If you've been following Clark since her college days, you know she's used to attention. But this time, it's a different spotlight, one fueled by frustration, missed calls, and questionable whistles. The very first signs appeared in her earliest games, where physical play went unpunished and obvious fouls ended up as no calls. Fans noticed the whistles stayed silent even when Clark took elbow shots to the face or stumbled to the floor. Suddenly, social media erupted. Was this normal, welcome to the league, tough love, or something far more suspicious? Before long, clips were going viral on every platform. People slowed down replays frame by frame, highlighting the exact second a collision happened or a foul should have been called. The outcry wasn't about Clark demanding superstar favoritism. It was about consistency. How can the league's brightest new star be so unprotected, many wondered, and who, if anyone, would step in to correct it? One moment in particular lit a fire under every basketball fan's seat. During a tight playoff clash, Clark was shoved square in the face, hard enough that she went stumbling back and had to blink away the shock. The entire arena seemed to freeze, waiting for the whistle. It never came. The look on Clark's face said it all. Stunned frustration, as if asking, what more has to happen for a foul to get called? Then there were the bizarre technical fouls. In one game, Clark vented by lightly tapping the padding under the backboard, only to be slapped with a quick tee. The audience booed as confusion spilled onto the court. How does a routine show of emotion get penalized while near tackles go unpunished? Fans, coaches, and even fellow players started publicly voicing concerns. Was this inconsistency accidental, or did referees have Clark in their crosshairs? Before anyone could brush these incidents aside as isolated errors, even more questionable decisions popped up in different matchups. It wasn't just one game or a single officiating crew. It spanned multiple arenas, multiple teams, and multiple referees. Some fans began to theorize that the league's officials were teaching her a lesson, refusing to give Clark the benefit of the doubt that star players often receive. Others argued that she simply hadn't earned her stripes yet, that referees generally allow rookies less leeway. Still, that explanation didn't sit well with many, given the severity of contact Clark continued to endure. She wasn't just missing out on borderline calls. She was taking hits that some said threatened her safety. The question loomed larger. Is the WNBA letting its new face get battered without the basic protection afforded to other elite players? Despite the mounting frustration, Caitlin Clark remained the poised competitor fans have always adored. She didn't lash out at referees in post-game interviews or wave her arms in protest after every non-call. Instead, she channeled that energy back into her game. Each time she hit the hardwood, leg or ankle twisted, arm slapped, or nose nearly broken, she got right back up. Some argue this proves she's tough enough to handle the pro level. Others worry that the league risks sending a dangerous message. If you're strong enough, you don't need the officials to protect you. Regardless, Clark's mental fortitude has become a point of admiration across the basketball world. Game after game, she shows up ready to ball, no matter how physical it might get. Step away from Caitlin Clark for a moment and look at the bigger picture. The WNBA has worked tirelessly to increase viewership, boost fan engagement, and draw more eyes to women's basketball. Having a star rookie like Clark is a dream scenario, unless that star's momentum is overshadowed by officiating controversies. There's a mounting sense that these problems may not be confined to one player. Other big names have voiced concerns about inconsistency in foul calling or questionable technicals. If the league is serious about showcasing the best women's basketball on the planet, fair and consistent officiating is a non-negotiable part of that. Letting too much slide or over-penalizing routine reactions harms the product and worse, can jeopardize player safety. What does this mean for Caitlin Clark's future and for the WNBA as a whole? On one hand, Clark's shown she can adapt. She keeps evolving her style to handle the aggressive defenses thrown her way. On the other, you can't help but wonder how much punishment a player can take before it affects them mentally or physically. League officials and team representatives haven't publicly acknowledged any pattern of bias, but the fans aren't convinced. Social media is buzzing with calls for accountability, better training for referees, and more transparent reviews of questionable calls. If nothing changes, the WNBA risks alienating fans just as it gains significant momentum. It's also possible that Clark, one of basketball's brightest young icons, could end up the poster child for a league that failed to protect its most marketable star. Whether you think this is standard rookie treatment or a glaring officiating crisis, there's no denying that Caitlin Clark's first season is shaping up to be one of the most talked about in recent memory. She's faced tough competition, questionable calls, and media firestorms, yet continues to dazzle with her unmatched shooting range and court vision. In some ways, the controversies only magnify her resilience. But here's the million-dollar question. Will the WNBA step in to ensure fair play, or will Clark continue having to watch her own back as well as her teammates? The league's credibility might hinge on that answer. If it doesn't address the outcry, this controversy could linger well into Clark's career, coloring every incredible performance with a frustrating asterisk. Were the officials really doing their job? Now it's time for you to weigh in. Have the referees truly crossed a line, or is this just part of Caitlin Clark's journey to becoming a WNBA legend? Drop your thoughts in the comments and let's get this conversation going. And before you click away, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an update on the latest WNBA drama. Most importantly, don't forget to subscribe to the WNBA Bulletin for exclusive behind-the-scenes insights and in-depth stories about your favorite players. We've got more content coming soon, so stick around if you want to stay ahead of all the shocking revelations and buzzer-beating highlights. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep your eyes on the court. You never know what might happen next in this wild new era of the WNBA.